the opening segment of the 77th session of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. The theme of the segment was Building Back Better from the Crisis Through Regional Cooperation in Asia and the Pacific. The event analyzed the socio-economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in the region, took stock of the actions taken thus far, and set out a policy agenda for building back better. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister underscored the need for pursuing the right mix of national actions, regional collaboration, and mutual cooperation to ensure that no one is left behind during the response and recovery efforts. He underscored the need for mobilizing adequate financing to meet development needs of the developing countries. The Prime Minister also emphasized that peace and development must be anchored in human rights and that international community should pay special attention to the situation of those under foreign occupation. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi received the German Foreign Minister today during his brief visit to Islamabad. The two foreign ministers reviewed bilateral cooperation in a range of areas and the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Underscoring the importance of enhancing mutual cooperation and collaboration to combat the pandemic in a holistic manner, the foreign minister thanked his German counterpart for their efforts to ensure earliest possible provision of vaccine through the COVAX initiative. Foreign Minister Qureshi also apprised his German counterpart on Pakistan's steadfast support for a peaceful and stable Afghanistan and positive contributions towards the ongoing Afghan peace process. He underlined the importance of regular high-level exchanges between the two countries and maintaining a steady upward trajectory in the relationship. On the invitation of his Turkish counterpart, Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi undertook a 2-day visit to Turkey. During the visit, a trilateral meeting of the foreign ministers of Pakistan, Turkey, and Afghanistan was held. The three sides exchanged views on achieving the shared objectives of a peaceful and stable Afghanistan through an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned political process. Besides participating in the trilateral meeting, Foreign Minister Qureshi also held bilateral talks with the foreign ministers of Turkey and Afghanistan. During the meeting between Foreign Minister Qureshi and the Turkish Foreign Minister, the two leaders reviewed the entire spectrum of bilateral relations between the two countries. They also exchanged views on the regional situation. Foreign Minister Qureshi appreciated Turkey's steadfast support on the Jammu and Kashmir dispute. In his meeting with the Afghan Foreign Minister, the two sides discussed the entire gamut of bilateral relations and the latest developments in the Afghan peace process. Foreign Minister Qureshi emphasized the need for concerted efforts for a meaningful engagement among the Afghan stakeholders for a negotiated political settlement. He also reiterated Pakistan's commitment to strengthen bilateral relations with Afghanistan in all areas of cooperation. The Foreign Minister underlined the need for effectively utilizing Afghanistan-Pakistan Action Plan for Peace and Solidarity to further strengthen institutional engagement between the two sides. Foreign Minister Qureshi received a telephone call from his Canadian counterpart on 27 April 2021. During the call, matters pertaining to COVID-19 pandemic, bilateral ties, and regional situation were discussed. Both leaders exchanged views on bilateral relations in political, economic, security, and cultural fields. The Canadian Foreign Minister offered condolences on the loss of precious lives in the recent attack on Serena Hotel in Quetta. Foreign Minister Qureshi appreciated the inclusion of Pakistan in students' direct stream of Canada. He hoped that the decision would help augment access of more Pakistani students to the educational institutions of Canada. The Foreign Minister participated in the 6-country Foreign Ministers video conference on joint response to COVID-19. The conference was hosted by the State Councillor and Foreign Minister of China. The Foreign Ministers of Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and the Acting Foreign Minister of Afghanistan participated in the conference. Welcoming the initiative, the Foreign Minister said that it was important for all participating countries to enhance cooperation in mitigating common challenges like COVID-19 pandemic, poverty alleviation, and disaster relief. The Foreign Minister appreciated the key deliverables of the conference, including China-South Asia Emergency Supplies Reserve, China-South Asia Poverty Alleviation Cooperation Development Center, and China-Asia E-Commerce Cooperation Forum on Poverty Alleviation in Rural Areas. The Foreign Minister underlined that China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and the Belt and Road Initiative would emerge as the regional hub of trade, connectivity, and economic activity. Earlier, Foreign Secretary Suhail Mahmood represented Pakistan in the 6-country Vice Foreign Ministers video conference on COVID-19 hosted by China. In his remarks, the Foreign Secretary highlighted the huge human and economic losses incurred by the pandemic and underscored the need for regional and international cooperation to fight this pandemic. The Chief of Army Staff, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, and the US Secretary of Defense General Lloyd Austin held a telephone conversation yesterday. During the call, matters of mutual interest, regional security situation, including latest developments in the Afghan peace process, drawdown, and bilateral cooperation in various fields were discussed. The Chief of Army Staff reiterated Pakistan's support for an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned peace process based on mutual consensus of all stakeholders. The US Defense Secretary acknowledged Pakistan's continuous efforts for peace and stability in the region and pledged to further enhance bilateral relations between Pakistan and the United States. In a recently held meeting of the UN Security Council, Pakistan's permanent representative to the UN called upon the UNSC to act boldly in protecting civilians and critical infrastructure during conflict. He underscored that the attack on cultural and religious sites, military siege, and collective punishment have often been used to advance military or political objectives in situations of foreign occupation and suppression of the right of people to self-determination. As an outcome of the meeting, the UNSC unanimously adopted a resolution on protection of civilians in armed conflict, which was co-sponsored by Pakistan along with many other countries. Pakistan views the recent developments in the occupied Palestinian territories with serious concern. These include harassment of people coming for prayers, arrests of innocent Palestinians, and other arbitrary restrictions in violation of fundamental human rights. These illegal measures have seen an upsurge since the onset of the holy month of Ramadan. Pakistan condemns these violent acts carried out by the Israeli occupation forces and urges the international community for prompt action to protect the Palestinian people. We also reiterate our steadfast support to the Palestinian people's inalienable right to self-determination. We believe that for a just and lasting peace, it is imperative to have a two-state solution in accordance with the relevant UN Security Council and OIC resolutions, with the pre-1967 borders and Al-Quds al-Sharif as the capital of a viable, independent, and contiguous Palestinian state. Coming over to the region, I wish to reiterate our expression of solidarity with the people of India in the wake of the current wave of COVID-19 that has reached hit our region hard. As a gesture of solidarity, Pakistan has also offered relief support to India. We are ready to immediately provide ventilators, BiPAP, digital X-ray machines, PPEs, and other related items to India. The concerned authorities of Pakistan and India may also explore possible ways of further cooperation to mitigate the challenges posed by the pandemic. We wish the Indian people early relief and recovery. Now, as the COVID situation in India deteriorates, we also remain deeply concerned over the health and safety of the incarcerated Kashmiri leaders as well as other innocent Kashmiris who are languishing in Indian jails on trumped up charges. Most of these jails are overcrowded and do not have any provision for precaution against the COVID-19 pandemic. The incarcerated Kashmiri leaders include Asiya Andrabi, Muhammad Yasin Malik, Shabir Ahmad Shah, Ashraf Sehrai, Advocate Shahidul Islam, Altaf Ahmad Shah, Naeem Ahmad Khan, Ayaz Akbar, Peer Saifullah, Raja Mirajuddin Kalwal, Sayyid Shahid Yusuf, Shakil Ahmad, Farooq Ahmad Dar, Fahmida Sufi, Nahida Nasreen, Zahoor Ahmad, and others. Reportedly, some of the Kashmiri leaders in Indian jails have already contracted coronavirus. Unfortunately, they are not even provided any medical treatment. Given the worst pandemic situation in India, the Indian government must immediately release the incarcerated Kashmiri leadership and all other innocent Kashmiris. We once again call upon the international community, particularly the United Nations, International Committee of the Red Cross, and human rights organizations to take cognizance of this dire humanitarian situation. I thank you and am happy to take questions on these.